He leads us all the way, playing proper football, the Sheffield United way. 𝗚𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗚𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sheffield United Way. I'm reacting to, I've just realised, the graphic on screen says 2-1. It says 2-1. Leeds fans are going to have an absolute field day with that. Brilliant, great start to the live stream. Nick, I'm not changing it. Okay, I might quickly change it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheffield United Way. Here we go. Yeah, we've lost 3-1 to Leeds tonight. I did not see this coming after sort of 60 minutes. I'll be honest, quite often we've looked a little bit unsure at the back this season. Quite often we look like we could be got at. Tonight, it didn't feel like that for a lot of the game. There we go, 3-1. Enjoy yourselves, Leeds fans. And I'll be perfectly honest, before we made the substitutions, I still didn't think that we were going to lose this game. Honestly, we played so well for 60 minutes. But that's the difference between winning the title and not winning the title. We still may go up in second. I'm still very, very confident that we'll go up in second, especially if we're playing like that week in, week out. But what can you do when your fitness levels aren't quite there? They've got that bit more quality than we've got in the final third. Things like that are going to happen. I don't think it was a 3-1 game. I don't think we deserve to lose this game by 2 goals. But, you know, those are the breaks. When you're playing like a team as good as Leeds in the final third, they're going to do that to you. And what a strike. What a strike by 𝗵𝗴 right at the end. Yeah, it pretty much emptied Bramall Lane that. I got up ready to go. Do you know, as you do, like you get up like annoyed. I'm going. And then my sister were like, I don't want to go. And I was like, all right, I don't really want to go either, because you never know. There's 3 minutes left. We could score 2 goals. It's obviously never going to happen. But yeah, it's very frustrating. We'll get into this. We'll talk about the stats. We'll talk about all the goals, including, unfortunately, 3 Leeds goals. But firstly, I want to give a big shout out to Panenka Bar and Grill, our pre and post match bar just off Bramall Lane. It's a fantastic bar. We're in there every single home match day and sometimes away match day as well. Also, 𝗵𝗵𝗴, just want to give them a big shout out, a virtual band with some of their band members are big blades. So big shout out to 𝗵𝗵𝗴. Go and listen to their stuff. I will be going into work tomorrow morning, listening to all 𝗵𝗵𝗴's tunes, trying to not think about this game of football. But as I mentioned, we played well for a lot of this game. I looked at the starting lineup and it wasn't as I expected. I thought Wilder might have gone a little bit more defensive going into this game, but we more than matched Leeds, more than matched them in the first half. We were the better side. We dominated Leeds for me. I'm not sure whether that the possession stats say that. No, clearly not. First half, 63% Leeds. It certainly didn't feel like that. I think when we got the most joy was on the break. And a lot of teams do that to Leeds. Leeds pass it around well. You set up nicely to be compact, not give them much space, and we got stuck in. We certainly got stuck in tonight. As I've said, if we play like that for the rest of the season, that first 60 minutes, we're going to blow teams away. We didn't take his chances tonight. We could have been 2 or 3 up in the first half. Same, Leeds could have scored goals in the first half as well. They had a few chances in that first half on the break as well. On the break, it was the referee. Well, the lino had a mare on my side of the south stand because lots and lots of their breakaways looked suspiciously offside, shall we say? But they obviously didn't score any goals in that first half. The first one, it was all about Meslier in this first half. He was flapping at everything, and it's like if Leeds could get into that half-time break without conceding multiple goals from multiple Meslier mistakes, then they'd done well, and they went in 1-0 down. It probably was a Meslier mistake in the end. I don't think we really knew what had gone on. I thought Callum O'Hare's flick header went over the line at first. I'm practically at the other end of the ground here. I'm in 𝗍𝗿𝗄𝐻𝐻 on the south stand, so it's the complete other side to me. So it was a fantastic ball in by Ben Brereton. Actually, no, we'll talk about the first one, because there was one before that where Peck takes this corner. It's a decent ball into the box, but any keeper worth their salt is coming and catching that ball. Michael Cooper showed him how to do it a few minutes later, but the ball goes up and Meslier is all over the place. He kind of paws at it, he fumbles it, and it ends up going towards goal. I think it's 𝗍𝗿𝗄𝐻 heads it off the line when Jack Robinson looks like he's going to smash this in the back of the net. Just there at the right place, right time for 𝗍𝗿𝗄𝐻. And Meslier gets away with that one. We go into the 14th minute and he doesn't get away with this one. It's a fantastic ball by Ben Brereton Diaz. It's a ball played out wide from Burrows. He cuts inside, plays a beautiful ball that I didn't even think he had it in his locker, to be honest, Ben Brereton Diaz. I know he's extremely good at being direct and running at players, and you kind of not knowing what he's going to do next. But this was just a touch of class. What a ball into the box. Callum O'Hare just seems to always be in the right place at the right time in the box. Doesn't always find the finish, or quite often doesn't find the finish. This is a fantastic flick. Now, if this goes right or left of Meslier, he doesn't save this, but he gets a fingertip onto it. It hits the underside of the crossbar, hits the line. It does not go in. It pops out to Campbell, and he kind of misjudges it, and then he just has to like kind of throw his head at it. And I don't think he really knows where the goal is. He's too busy fixated on the ball, and he heads it against the post. It's not even going in, and then Meslier kind of, again, just fumbles it towards goal. It's like he's trying to give us goals. And I did say to Just Joe, our friend and friend of the channel, Leeds YouTuber, why aren't you running away with this title or with this league? And he said it's down to Meslier. And again, it showed that he's not up to scratch. And really, if they'd have gone for a better goalkeeper in January, then, you know, they will still run away with the title, clearly. But yeah, they certainly would have more points on the board if it wasn't for him. But he pours it into his own net, and the Blades go 1-0 up. Now, we utterly and truly deserved to be 1-0 up. We were fantastic, especially in that first 45 minutes. Sousa was absolutely phenomenal in that midfield. Phenomenal. I don't know if he gave the ball away at all in that game. He was just a joy to watch on the ball and off it, because the amount of times he got back and got his shoulder across and won the ball, slide tackles galore, reading the game perfectly. His interceptions were on point. But I was really, really surprised in a fantastic way how good Sousa was on the ball today. I feel like every player for the first 60, 65 minutes was wonderful on the ball. We just never got worried. We never seemed to be worried on the ball. Jack Robinson obviously always like kind of worries me a little bit. But Jack Robinson, fantastic on the ball. Anel was. Suze was in the midfield. Peck didn't give the ball away needlessly at any time in this game. Ball going out to the right back, to the left back. We never seemed to give the ball away. We pumped that long ball towards Brereton Diaz quite a lot, and that worked. That worked a lot. I think we realised quite early on that if Brereton Diaz isn't going to win this ball, he's going to put enough pressure on the right back or centre back for this ball just to drop to someone in that kind of just behind him. And we had so much joy with that for most of the game, to be perfectly honest, until Brereton Diaz got brought off. A lot of the pumps forward were also from the goalkeeper, Cooper, as well. Cooper aimed for Brereton Diaz every time. And like I say, we got a lot of luck out of that. Not luck. We got a lot out of him. A lot out of him. And Campbell too. Like Tyrese Campbell was phenomenal in that first half and a bit of the second half as well. He just tries to bully the defender, and his touch is magnificent. I don't think we realised how good Tyrese Campbell was before we signed him. And I thought he seemed a little bit of a donkey when he very first came into the team, and he was completely unmatched fit, shall we say. And, you know, he has just proved me wrong. And the thing is, it's just, I love watching him play because he does everything that you need. He runs in behind. He tries to bully defenders. He's strong. He's very strong. He's got the finish too. Well, maybe not tonight, but he's obviously scored a lot of goals for us this season when he's not been injured. And he's still coming back to fitness. Like, he's still not 100%, or he would have played, you know, 80, 85 minutes of that game. Same with Brereton Diaz. He's still coming back to fitness. And I think that's the reason why we didn't win this game, or at least that's the reason why we lost this game tonight, because in the 60th minute, Tom Cannon came on for 𝗍𝗍𝗷. 𝗍𝗏 came on for Tyrese Campbell. And that's when it started to turn. You could tell Gus wasn't 100%. It was nice to see him back in the team. And do you know what? It was actually fantastic to see the Blades be really, really good without 𝗍𝗏 on the pitch, because don't get me wrong, I love to see 𝗍𝗏 on the pitch. He's our best player. But if we can play like that without 𝗍𝗏, that's great to see. That is great to see, because I didn't think we had that in his locker without Gus. Don't get me wrong, against Borough, we were fantastic, but that was with Gus on the pitch and Gus pulling the strings. Tonight, he wasn't pulling the strings. I think actually Brereton Diaz, Campbell, Peck, and Sousa were the standout players for me, especially in that first half. And they just won everything. I think even though Meslier had a poor game, there was a couple of passes that went awry as well. We were putting so much pressure on their defenders, their midfield, that sometimes they were passing the ball to us, and Leeds don't do that usually. So I just want to give a big, big shout out to everyone before sort of 𝗍𝗍𝗷 and Tyrese Campbell went off. Brereton Diaz possibly could have gone off when they went off. He went off in the 73rd minute, and he was absolutely out on his ear. He was absolutely knackered. He really was. Tom Davies came on for him. I think Tom Davies had a good game when he came on, but you could tell that you know, we'd lost that attacking impetus with Brereton Diaz, Tyrese Campbell, and 𝗍𝗍𝗷 all going off. They're all extremely dangerous players. And to replace them with a striker that's not done anything for us yet in Tom Cannon, 𝗍𝗏, who's not 100% fit, and Tom Davies, we've lost a lot of pace. We've lost 𝗍𝗍𝗷, Campbell, and Brereton Diaz. All of them have pace, and we've replaced them with three players without pace, in my opinion. So that's what really did it for me. I felt like as soon as Leeds scored that goal in the 72nd minute, I couldn't see us going on to win the game, if you get me. All I could see was us holding out for a 1-1 or possibly conceding late, which we clearly did. But that was the first goal. Let's go into a little bit more of the action. I think, like I mentioned earlier, Leeds got in behind us quite a few times, but a lot of them were balls over the top over to Solomon. I think Solomon, really, really good player, coming in off that left wing. He didn't really... There's a few times where he should have done a lot better. And I do rate him. I clearly rate him, but I think a couple of them were offside. That Lino did not seem to be looking quite often down the line. I don't know what he was doing, but it seemed like a few of them were offside. But we go into half time 1-0 up. We were the far better side. We dominated the better of the possession. Leeds didn't really offer too much. They got in behind a couple of times, but they just didn't do a hell of a lot with it. I just think we were so value for that 1-0 going into the half time. They got a round of applause going off, which they absolutely deserved. I think we came out just as good again, though. I think we came out really good. Harry Clark went off injured, and Hamza Chowdhury went to right back. I think Chowdhury played just as well as Harry Clark did at right back. no qualms with Chowdhury whatsoever. It's good to have a footballer at right back, as we've seen in the past, with sort of Bash going there and playing right centre back. A midfielder going to play at full back, they're always going to see a lot of the ball, and they're always going to use it well. And I think he used it really well when he came out, in all honesty. My worry was when Leeds made their substitutions. 𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗹𝗃 for me. I think he's a fantastic player. He doesn't seem to be getting the games recently for Leeds. And I think that's because from what Leeds fans have said, it sounds like Daniel Farke's going a little bit too defensive. But do you know what? Yeah, they're going defensive early on, but when you've got 𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗃 to bring on when there's tired legs out there, and it's not just tired legs, it's tired minds as well. And that's where we came a cropper tonight. We didn't pick up as men. I'm going to go through some of the Leeds goals in a second, and you'll see why. If you watch the highlights, which, to be honest, when you're in the ground, as I was tonight, you're not really taking in who's not picked up who. I kind of ball watch quite often, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because I just enjoy watching football. I don't like to analyze it whilst I'm watching it. I just want to be in the moment. And then obviously you get home and you look at the highlights and you realize what went wrong. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Leeds necessarily deserved the 3 points. Their quality shone through in the end. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for the players, if it was down to the fans, there's absolutely no chance that Leeds United would have got back into this game, because they clearly only sang when they were winning. They were so quiet, and they had one song, Marching On Together, got sung about 3 times in the first, well, before the 72nd minute, got sung about 3 times. As soon as they scored, then they were behind the team. So yeah, it's a good job the players were on it and not the fans. But yeah, let's talk about this goal from Junior Firpo. Dan James gets down the right-hand side. He kind of cuts back and then stands up, a beautiful cross, telling Firpo to go and attack that. And he'd done it a couple of times before that as well. He ghosted in and not quite, I think there was a header that went quite far over the bar that he didn't quite meet properly. He met this perfectly. Dan James stands it up beautifully. And 𝗵𝗵𝗴 is kind of ball watching. He's stood in the middle of the goal, or he's stood in the middle of the box, should I say. And Firpo's coming from outside the 18-yard box. He's ghosting and he gets past 𝗵𝗵𝗴, and it's too late for Big Ben to do anything about it. Firpo's already past him, and he's already fired that header past Cooper. Nothing Michael Cooper could have done about any of the goals tonight, unlike Meslier. Yeah, fantastic header from Firpo. It gets them back in the game, and their tails are up. I think after that, we kind of folded a little bit, in my opinion. There was one, I think it was just before they scored, where somebody put Cannon through, and it's kind of on the right-hand side. And it looks like he could possibly get a shot away early, but I think Roden just comes across and just shoulders him out of the way, and it's so simple. Campbell would have definitely got his body across and not let him, bully him so easily. There was one little bit earlier than that, actually, just before the subs were made, just before the goal. Sousa plays it into Brereton Diaz's, well, kind of in front of Brereton Diaz. He's running towards goal. Campbell makes a lovely run, and do you know what? Brereton Diaz could dummy the pass and run through on his own here, and I think he's running through on goal. But he plays Campbell in, and Meslier comes out really, really well, takes the ball well, but it's almost like Campbell just lets him have it. I've seen it from a couple of angles, and it looks like Campbell should get to this ball first, and he doesn't. I felt like in the ground, he could have rounded the goalkeeper quite comfortably, but clearly that wasn't to be. It must have been a bit of an optical illusion, because it seemed like Campbell was going to win this race. Meslier comes out, claims it really well. I thought it was over the line when he comes out and takes that ball. He stops it right on the line, and it is right on the line. It's not over. It's right on the line. So fair enough. I was screaming for it, though. I really was screaming for it. But yeah, obviously, Meslier comes out, does really, really well. and stops Campbell from making it 2-0, because that would have been game over for me. I don't think Leeds are coming back from 2-0 down, especially when I think that was maybe just before. I think that had to be just before the subs came on. So 2-0 down, I think they would have chucked those subs on, but I think would have been able to see it out. I think our tails would have been so up that we would have been able to see a 2-goal lead out. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, obviously. We then bring on Cannon, Harmer, and then Tom Davies eventually. And like I said, it all changed after that. It all changed. I think the fact that the fitness levels aren't there for Ben Brereton Diaz, for Gus Harmer, and for Tyrese Campbell. You've got 𝗵𝗴 having a shot in the 90th minute. I think it was just after that. But he's having a shot from outside the box with that much power in the 90th minute. Clearly, some of these quality Leeds players have got the legs right until the death, and our players just didn't. And I'm looking at the bench and I'm thinking we've got a really, really strong bench, but the players that we brought on, I just didn't have confidence in when we went to 1-1 for us to go and score another goal, other than Gus Harmer, if I'm being honest. Gus creating something out of nothing. Whereas if this was at Ellen Road and they'd be 1-0 up and we'd have gone 1-1, I felt like they'd have had another gear to come back at us. We didn't have that. And that's what's really, really upsetting, to be perfectly honest. And then obviously in the 89th minute, they left it late yet again, Leeds. And it was a bit of a weird one. It's a good outswinging corner again from Rothwell. Rothwell, yeah, he seems to be doing it at the death for Leeds at the moment, doesn't he? Great outswinging corner. Firpo wins the header, and it just goes to the back post. Tanaka heads it towards goal. I think it's a bit of a lucky header, in all honesty, because he's at the front post to him, and somehow he heads it all the way across the box where we have a defender on the line. So I think he just tries to head towards goal, and he's just kind of headed it right towards the far corner. And do you know what? I'm going to say it. Blades fans aren't going to like me for this. 𝗍𝗍 could do a lot better on the line for me. He kind of stands there and thinks he's already won the header off the line. If he jumps higher for this, he heads that forwards and not upwards. And I'm not going to give 𝗍𝗍 a hard time. I'm really not, because he's been fantastic and everybody makes mistakes. But he can clear this off the line, and I'll be honest, it's a mistake. It's a mistake from 𝗍𝗍 for me. But even before that, Gus Harmer loses Tanaka. Is it Tanaka? Tanaka. Gus Harmer loses him, and this is where it all comes from. Firpo wins the header. Gus has got his arms around Tanaka, and then just lets him go. And I know Gus is on a booking at this point, I believe. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course he is. It was a lot earlier on. Gus is on a bucket at this point, and he obviously doesn't want to give away a penalty, but he lets him go and then just lets him continue to run forward towards the line, and Gus just leaves him. So it's a big mistake from Gus. It's a slightly smaller mistake from 𝗍𝗍, but still a mistake. So if you think about it, Ben Brereton Diaz not tracking Firpo, not knowing where his man is, that's a mistake. Then we've got a mistake from Gus Harmer letting Tanaka go. And then we've got a mistake from 𝗍𝗍 not heading this off the line. He's got loads of time when the ball's coming towards him, and he just doesn't get high enough to head this forwards and not upwards. And then finally, in the 90th minute or 91st minute, whatever you want to call it, 𝗵𝗴 gets the ball on the edge of the box. He had loads of time earlier on in this game where he's running towards goal, and we're backing off, and we're backing off, and we're backing off. And then he hits a strike that 𝗍𝗍 saves really, really well down to his left. And that was a sign of things to come, because if you're backing off a player of that quality, they're going to end up finding the top corner or the bottom corner. And for this one, 𝗍𝗍 kind of just stands off him and just sticks a leg out, and he manages to find a gap into that top corner. I think Cooper's a little bit unsighted here. I think he kind of reacts a little bit later than what you would expect, but maybe it's just because it was hit with such ferocity one of the 𝗍𝗍. It's a great strike, and that ends the game 3-1. Like, the Blades are not coming back from this. We bring 𝗍𝗵𝗴 on in the 90+3rd minute. No idea why, but at least he'll get an appearance bonus probably. Who cares? I'm really disappointed, I'll be honest, in this game. We went down at half time. I've talked to lads, and I'm saying, you know what? I would take a draw in this game, but now we're winning. I want us to win this game. And if someone said to me before the start of the game, you're going to lose this game 3-1, I'd be like, I can see that. But at the 60th minute, I could not see us losing this game. Never mind losing this game by 2 goals. It's really disappointing, but Leeds will be champions of the Championship this season. It pains me to say it, but that's what you need to do to be champions. You need to go away to second division and just boss them, which they ended up doing in that second half. It was certainly a game of 2 halves. But Leeds just had that little bit more fitness and a little bit more quality. They had some fantastic players coming off the bench as well. Like, I've been saying all week that players like Gnonto and Ramazani and obviously the players on the pitch, Dan James, all these players would start for Sheffield United. So I think there is I don't think there's a golfing class. It's certainly closer than what you think. And I think clearly from 60 minutes in this match, you saw that the Blades could go toe-to-toe with Leeds. And I think if those attackers that were on the pitch earlier on, and if Gus would have been 100%, it would have been a different story. But it wasn't. We lost 3-1. Got to hold his hands up and say Leeds were the better side overall, and clearly created the better chances in the end, and took them. And that's the main thing. You've got to take your chances. We took our chances this season when we've not quite been at the races. Tonight we didn't. There were a couple of ones that flashed across the goal in the first half. I think there was one where 𝗍𝗍𝗲, if he'd have just gambled, it would have been a tap-in. Tyrese Campbell was getting down that left-hand side, being played in and then cutting the ball across. I think there was one where it came across and Callum O'Hare couldn't quite get on the end of it, and Firpo clears it. We had the chances. Let's have a little look at the stats. So, expected goals overall for the Blades, 1.22. Leeds just shaded it at 1.28. That 𝗵𝗴 shot would have been a really, really tiny expected goal. So, obviously, it's Leeds scoring 3 goals. That's one that probably be 0.1 or something like that. Yeah, in the first half, Leeds expected goals 0.28. That shows how much better we were, and the fact that we didn't really give them much to go on. 0.97 to the Blades, and we obviously scored a goal. So we created some good chance in that first half, and like I said, we could have been 2 or 3 goals up by the time we went into half time. So yeah, it's a little bit upsetting. Like I said, I'll quickly give a shout out to some of the players that I thought were excellent. 𝗍𝗵𝗴 𝗍, man of the match for me. He still went on and on and on, even when he picked up a little bit of an injury. He was wonderful in this game and has clearly got our man of the match 7.4, which is streets ahead of anybody else. I thought Brereton Diaz was good. I thought 𝗍𝗍𝗲 was good in patches. He just didn't create enough for me down that side. I think he got doubled up on once or twice, but we needed to see more from him, in my opinion. I thought Campbell was wonderful, and he's only got a 6 rating in this game, which I think's just disgraceful. Yeah, Leeds clearly deserved the win in the end for the chances that they created at the death. But I don't think it's not a 3-1 game. It's certainly not a 3-1 game. There's so many comments come in. Let's try and go through some of these, shall we? Whoa, this is going to be crazy. So I'm going to fire through some of them very, very quickly. Wow, I don't know what to do with these. We've got way over 500. I'll try and put some Leeds ones on the screen as well, just to be fair. Right, let's just start from here. Coach say, I know he's a blade. Wasn't overly impressed with our in-game management or Wilder's subs, but that was never a 3-1 game. On to the next one. As I said, mate, it's literally, it's literally, if we play like that every week, we're not going to lose 3-1 every week. We're going to win most of the games. Unfortunately, it wasn't our night. Could have won this, but didn't take our chances. Both us and Leeds will go up. I'm glad you're as confident as I am, Rob. I think we will too. Paul Walker obviously didn't go today. Typical armchair supporter. Never mind. We've all probably been to Ellen Road more times than him this season. Bants, love it. Great start, outplayed Leeds for 20 minutes and held well, but it pains me to say they just got stronger and we got weaker despite changes. It reminded me of some of our Prem games. I think lots to learn. Absolutely, John, I agree with that. We are still working on our team. Leeds have been at it for years. Hate their fans with a passion. Pure scum. Scottish border blade, thank you very much. Excellent point. My sentiment exactly. And like someone else said, that wasn't a 3-1 loss result, but credit to our neighbours. Fair enough. Harmer was a liability and obviously shouldn't be playing, so off it, he should have got a red. I don't think he should have got a red. 2-horse race for second now, us and Burnley. We've got to play them on Easter Monday. That could be the match which decides second and third. To be fair, Burnley, other than the Wednesday game, on scoring lots of goals. So I think we'll see a few more Burnley 0-0s. And maybe even them conceding goals, in all honesty, because they certainly weren't very good against Wednesday. Especially defensively. Not to be, says Justin, great first half, but it came down to the benches in the second half and their squad is just too strong. But all to play for now between us and Burnley. Game on. Tonight spelled out why this current team will never be able to survive upwards in the Premier League. We have far too many players who are championship level and play that way. We've ridden our luck with some surprising wins and tonight was the reckoning. Do you know what? I'm really surprised that some are really negative about tonight because I thought we played really, really well for large patches of this game. Nick, the big difference was when Leeds made their subs early in the second half. They were attack-minded subs. The Blades were to contain and beef up the midfield. I absolutely agree, Michael. Good luck in the playoffs. I'm sure that's a Leeds fan. We're still second and we're still clearly second. So don't worry about it, Richard. We'll sort ourselves out. I've seen enough tonight to convince me that we're the second best team in the league. The title isn't over just yet, but promotion is the goal. I think the only way that we win this title is if Leeds go on a monumental fall apart, which they've done before, but I can't see that happening. Burnley are more consistent than us at the moment and don't concede goals like we did tonight. I think we'll start to see Burnley concede more goals, in all honesty. We'll come back better, stronger. Absolutely agreed. Richard, we didn't know you were a Leeds fan. Of course we didn't. I wonder how many Leeds fans have been waiting for this to start. Probably you're probably not wrong, Tom. And the fact that I put 2-1 up on screen, they will have absolutely loved that. Nick, why is your thumbnail with you with your hands up with your fist clenched in a winning pose? Or you just changed it with two hands? So, Michael, I'll let you know how kind of YouTube works. So we schedule a video, schedule a live stream. We've got to put a thumbnail up there. So unless I put one up with me looking like this, then I'm going to have to try and be a little bit positive before the game. And then obviously you change it. Thought we were good until the 60th minute and we started to gas. You can see it coming. We needed that second, but we just didn't attack. Positive Jack, thank you for that. Nick, what is your week going to be like where you work in Wakefield surrounded by your Leeds United mates? Hell. It's going to be hell. No, I'm only messing. I think most, believe it or not, most people that I work with that are Leeds fans like some of the people that you see in the comments, in all honesty. There we go. 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. every team in the country used to sing Marching On Together. I remember us singing it. Every team got bored of it because it was, but Leeds kept it. Okay. I don't remember that. You lot would be on Leeds channels if you won 3-1. Right. Okay. We needed a new centre-back Boxing Day. How is Robinson starting at the end of February? Xander, I'll be honest, I think Robinson's been pretty good since January. I feel like he's really stepped it up, but I get you. I think it's so difficult to replace someone like 𝗍𝗲𝗷𝗵𝗵, but yeah. Bench changed the game. Too much quality from Leeds. Absolutely agree, Chris. Definitely a shame we didn't press home our advantage in the first half, and we had to drop. And we had the drop on them. Such a shame, but some great effort and quality at times. Out to all blades. We should be United regardless. Too right. Tom Cannon shouldn't have come on. Tyrese was brilliant. I think Tyrese was just a little bit tired, in all honesty. Thought we played well so far. Thought we played so well. First half especially. Felt sick when their goals went in. Want to see the highlights. Felt like we could have had at least 3 in the first half. I don't really think they showed all the on the Sky highlights. I don't think they showed all the good chances that we had. Leeds should have had 2 clear penalties, and Harmer should have been sent off. Bore off, Big Badger. I was expecting more from you, Nick. We were crap, but what? But what a flat performance from your lads. Okay. I don't know what you expected from me. I don't know what you wanted me to say, that it was a flat performance from us. No, it wasn't. It really, really wasn't. Could do with the Blades going up with Leeds. The 6 points will be priceless next season. Fair play. Fair play. Glad you stayed for a firecracker goal. Yeah, it was a good goal, Big Badger, in all honesty. I don't know why I keep calling you Big Badger. Subs contributed nothing. Harmer ran around a lot, fouling everything in sight. Cannon didn't even run around a lot. Got doubts about him. A massive disappointment after the first part of the game. Your stadium wasn't even full. Were you there? I think the places that we could sell were all full. I don't know if it was a sellout. I don't know if we sold all the tickets. I assume so, because the places that weren't full were generally the kind of sides. Blaze got outclassed. I don't think we got outclassed. I just think we ran out of steam towards the end, like a lot of teams probably do against Leeds. You looked unfit in the second half. I don't think we necessarily looked unfit. I think certain players looked unfit because they've been coming back from injury, like Souza, like Campbell. Brereton Diaz hasn't got the match fitness just yet. But yeah, you are right. Some players did look unfit. Burnley are overtaking yous. I hate that so much. That's such a Leeds thing to do and say. There's so many people at my work that say use. Really winds me up. It so winds me up. At least you had a go. I'd rather play you every week. Entertainment. Let's be honest. We are both going up. Burnley can have their clean sheet trophy. I love that, Tony. Tony, you can stay. Tony, can you stay forever and comment on all my videos, please? I like you. There's a lot of people here that not so much. There you go. I don't know why the middle finger is needed in the slightest. Better team won. Simple as. Only one team. I don't get it. I don't get why you have to be so arrogant. I really don't. There's so many Leeds fans that are so arrogant, but also there's some really nice Leeds fans that are just, nice people and just are honest. Taze, Souza, man of the match, completely agree. Someone said O'Hare started, never saw him all night. He created the first goal with his header towards goal that Meslier ended up just pouring it in his own net. So there you go. I thought we were brilliant tonight. I can't see how any Blades fans can complain tonight. BBD was knackered. Cannon did good things when he came on. We move on. Thank you, Carl. Absolutely agree. There's so many comments. I'm really, really sorry. I can't go through them all. I'm going to go a little bit further down. Sultanist man, you got battered. Did we? Did we get battered? But did we, though? Be honest. Did we get battered? Because we didn't. Pound shot player. See what I mean? See what I mean? These are the people that give Leeds fans a bad name, and it's probably 85% of the population. Tell me a better away crowd than... Oh, my God. Really? Really? You literally... Oh, you can't have been at the game because you literally only sung when you scored. It was so quiet in that away end, especially after we scored. You were just like, nope, no, we can't give you players anything. Your ground is too... Oh, my God. You haven't scored past... fair point. I appreciate that. Fair point. Didn't deserve 3 points. After 25th minute, Sheffield United weren't in the game. Anyone could see what was coming. Well deserved. 25. Give over. Give over. While they got it wrong with the subs, I agree. See, Leeds United fan being just being normal. That's what we want. Sheffield United, the small club in Sheffield, always in... Oh, my God. Who are these people? This is embarrassing. It really is. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it there. This is ridiculous. There's just... I'm reading so many arrogant Leeds comments that I'm just not even going to give them the time of day now. So let's leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody, for commenting. There's a lot of comments. I can't get through them all. And I just appreciate everybody for being here. Make sure you like the video before you go. Lots of banter being flying around in this live stream. I don't mean it. I really don't mean it. I've got a lot of time for Leeds. I really have. I think, obviously, we've got this big rivalry, Yorkshire rivalry, and we've you know, toing and froing in the last few seasons with the... We'll always have 𝗍𝗲𝗲 arriving. But tonight was not the night for the Blades. I thought we played really well. I genuinely think we played really well for at least 45, if not 60 minutes of this game. The subs clearly changed it for Leeds, and our subs weren't up to scratch with the pace of the game. And yeah, we come unstuck in the end, but we move. I think we'll go up. I still think we'll go up. Comments are still coming in, and I can't get to the bottom. It's ridiculous. But again, even if you're on the wind up, and even if you're just having a bit of banter with me, I appreciate it. Thanks for commenting. Make sure you comment afterwards, like the video, and yeah, thank God that's the last time we're playing Leeds this season.
𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗏. 𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗏𝗚𝗏.